Yeah, what's the weather?
Sir, tornado warning. You should take shelter. It's in southwest Omaha.
Roger, service. Well, that's fine. Yeah, I just reported those tornado-type clouds in the area of Highway 370 and 120th.
270 and Highway 270 what?
120th. I was just telling another fellow about
120th.
Yeah, I forgot to tell him the direction they're moving.
Which way are they moving?
They appear to be moving northeast. They're not tornadoes themselves, but they're the type that form tornadoes.
Well, what happened was I had worked late that day, and I got off a little after 4:30. It's my understanding the storm hit right around 5 o'clock, and I had taken my route home, and there was a Goodrich Dairy on 67th and Blondo. And I stopped at Goodrich Dairy and got a milkshake, and was sitting there debating whether I should drink it there in the parking lot and just sit there in the rain, or drink it on the way home. And I decided to go on home.
Yeah. I believe I was 12 or 13 years old, and at the time of the tornado, before the tornado came down 72nd, I was at Exarban watching a horse race with some friends, and clouds were getting a little dark in the southwest. All of a sudden, sirens started going off. Announcer came over the intercom saying, head for the exits, head for shelter. And dumb kid I am, didn't know what was going on. I decided to look out and see what was out there, what the big thing was. And I saw a big old black cloud coming down 72nd Street, the scariest cloud I've ever seen in my entire life. To this day, I have very bad nightmares from it. But I have learned what Mother Nature can do.
I was working at a place called Standard Metal Fabricating on 72nd and Jones, which is Nebraska Furniture Mart electronics today. It started out as a normal spring day, and the first thing that I remember is my boss, who sat next to me in the office, calling downstairs to the plant foreman and kind of making a joke that there was a tornado coming. And I don't remember exactly what time it was, but it was, he's yelling, "There's a tornado coming, like it was, like I said, a big joke. And then the next thing we knew, we heard the sirens going off, and everybody started to kind of panic, of course, and everybody's running towards the outdoors to see what's going on out there, and the sky is like totally just black, and clouds are rolling quickly, and people are standing outside looking around, and our plant manager said, "Nothing to worry about." I've never seen a tornado touch down in a city like this before.
It was on the ground for a heck of a long time, because it first hit down there south of Q, down 84th and Q, and hit the Wentworth Apartments there.
It did not go into Exarban, it went straight down 72nd. We didn't try to outrun it. There was no place to run. You're basically in an open space. You could have been the next victim. The danger was unbelievable, but the thrill was there for everybody. You got to witness something that will probably never exist in the city of Omaha ever again. An F5 going down 72nd like it was strolling down a street. Debris was in the air. You could see a dark tint of brown from all the dirt that was kicked up. Buildings splintering like they were like toothpicks.
We knew something was coming because of the way how dark it was, and there was a greenish tint to the sky. I remember that part because they always, there's always a kind of a greenish tint to the sky, and there was things flying through the air, just debris everywhere. So. Oh
yeah, because you've seen the pictures, with the crowd in the stands at Exarban in this huge tornado off to the west, and then it just glanced off the Bergen Mercy Hospital, just did minimal damage to that, and it was a miracle.
Emergency service.
Yes, I live on 8503 Gyre, and I just saw a tornado.
Yes, sir. We have received a report, and you should take shelter.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Over about 184th and maybe L or Q.
Yeah, go to hit the ground once.
We can see stuff flying out the window right
Okay,
now.
I've got another report of a tornado, 184th and L.
People did different things because people started to panic, and some people got headed to their cars and were going to try to go home, and other people stayed behind. They got under desks at work and anything that they could take that was undercover. Actually, I was one of those people that headed for home. And I was with my mother. We rode to work together and home because we lived close by each other. She worked in the plant part and I worked upstairs in the office. And then she was driving and she says, "Come on, Janine, let's go home and let's try to go home." So we headed north on 72nd Street, which is part of the route that the tornado took. And we were headed towards 72nd by Maple Street. And I lived right off of 65th and Maple at the time. And it just seemed like as we were going that the wind was getting stronger and the clouds were getting darker, and things were flying through the air. And we come to my house and my mother parked the car, and she is a person that never would get upset about anything, but you could tell by the tone of her voice. She says, "Janine, get to the basement." And so we went around. The house I lived in at the time had an outdoor cellar, and so we had to go through that and downstairs, and we were in the basement, and you could just, at that time you could just hear things hitting the house and things, they always describe it as a sound of a train, and that's probably what it sounded like in the basement. I just remember being there and, shaking and crying and
Emergency service.
Hey, what's that big wind trying to blow my house apart, Diane? Jesus Christ.
Southwest Omaha, is that where you are?
Yeah, it's got houses blowing right in the air.
Yeah, it's a tornado warning. I'd take shelter if I were you.
Okay.
All right, bye.
5324 South 88th Plaza. Tornado just went through here and right through the middle of the Whitworth apartment house. Oh, do you need help? Well, I can't see now. I'm all right. My family's all right, but it looks like World War II out here.
Hey, that bank at 84th and L is no longer in existence.
I don't know, but it tore up a shitload of territory. My name is Holman. I'm a senior law student at Creighton, and you better get some people out here. I don't have any idea if there's anybody hurt. We're going over there.
Was 99th and Q, Thomasville Complex?
At 99th and Q,
Yeah.
it hit through the southeast of 99th and Q.
But 99th and U, like in Union then?
That's right.
And it knocked down several buildings?
Yeah, it blew up. It blew up several
Buildings.
72nd and 72nd and Dodge no longer exist.
After the tornado, my brother came home from work. He worked over at Omico. It's a manufacturing place down on 70th and F Street. And he had pretty much followed the tornado all the way home. Because he left work and got up there on 72nd, and he looked across and he could see it as it hit Westgate.
Some of the things I saw were houses that were sitting in complete one piece. House would be in one piece on one block, and then 30 feet away there'd be no house except for the foundation. I was told many years ago from my dad, who was an earth science teacher, that there's some strange things that happen when a tornado goes through a town. Had the chance to see something similar to that. Looked to be if I remember right, a dinner table. Main course on the center of the table hadn't moved. Still fork inside, I believe it was a roast or some sort, hadn't moved. Everything around the house was gone.
Up on 73rd and or 72nd and Seward. I remember this Mercury cyclone. I thought it was pretty ironic. This Mercury cyclone was just wrapped around this tree. And then there was a huge billboard that was up there right by the Mount Fuji Inn, you know, and the Dairy Queen, and it must have had 16, 18-inch I-beam girders, you know, 2 of them holding it up, and it just took that sign and just bent it straight over, you know, it just bent those I-beams like they were pretzels.
Our house was not damaged. There was a lot of broken trees and that. I guess I was worried mostly about my son who was at the daycare home. And my husband was out somewhere. We didn't know where those people were at the time, you know, if anything happened to them.
Because it went right through the heart of Omaha, you know, 72nd Street's the heart of Omaha, wiped out the Downtowner hotel. It went up to the east of 72nd right there, you know, because it jogged, you know, it was on the west side of 72nd where it hit Nebraska Furniture Mart, took out the post office. There was a post office next to Nebraska Furniture Mart. And then it jogged over to the east. On the east side there was the gas station, I believe, is where the guy got killed.
We were pretty much guarded by National Guard and the Omaha Police Department. 2 banks were hit by the tornado, scattered money throughout the city of Omaha. I believe after the tornado hit, we had to, you know, go home and make sure that everybody was alive in our neighborhood, and that was about it. I got a call from, at the time I was with the Cub Scouts, got a call from our Cub Master. He asked us to meet at a certain church, I can't remember the name of the church, and he wanted us to help out with the cleanup. They put us in a specific area, which was 72nd between Blondo and Dodge, where basically the main path hit. We were in the backyard of a house that was barely there, picking up trash, and we happened to pick up some money, and I had a M16 pointed at my head when I picked up a $100 bill. And for a young kid to have a gun facing toward his head kind of spooked the hell out of me. And I unfortunately didn't get a chance to grab the $100 bill and put it in my pocket, but an M16 told me not to.
There's one rumor that I've heard, there was with the person that was killed down in the Wentworth Apartments. You know, there were 3 people killed. One guy was up on the roof of a gas station watching. Then there was a deaf woman up on 70th, north of Blondo. She didn't hear the sirens. And then this third person in the apartments, it's my understanding that she drowned, actually.
I'm at 7610 Briggs. Yes? All the apartments in this area and upper floor are gone.
7610 Briggs?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if anyone's injured?
I don't know. We can't tell. It's just devastated out here.
What's the name of the apartment?
What's the name of the apartment? Ma'am, what's the name of the apartment here? Cornish Heights.
Okay, we'll take care of it, sir.
Going near the Brown Cow. Everything's going out here.
All right.
Basically, I remember was the people. They just came out of the woodwork. Helping hand, if anything. Red Cross was there, but it was basically the people just came from everywhere in the city. Across the state came in, and it was just phenomenal.
I think one thing that was really odd was when my son was in the daycare, it was a home that had no basement either, and the lady that was watching them, she had a house full of little ones, and she didn't know what to do, and she put them all in like a pantry and covered them with blankets, and all of the houses around her were destroyed. Some were flattened. All of them had some type of damage to them, except the house that she had the children in. So I thought that was rather unique because, yes, somebody was watching out for all those little ones that day.